Guys, it is Aoife from Fred Who Died Laughing, and I'm here with another weekly wrap up. So I got 3 books read this week, and I also want to talk about a book I read last week which wasn't a doggy book, so I didn't want to include it in my Bark Along Readathon vlog. It was an audiobook that I'd been listening to. So I'll get straight on into this and tell you the first book I finished this week, which was also a doggy book, and that was Saving Sadie by Joal, Derse, Dauer. This is a book, a non-fiction book about a dog called Sadie who was rescued by this woman called Joal, and when Joal found her in an animal shelter, and Sadie was in really bad condition. She had been shot in her head and in the back by a previous owner, they believe, after she had a litter of puppies and they didn't want her anymore. They shot her and left her for dead, and then she was eventually ended up in this animal shelter. She wasn't able to walk, she wasn't able to urinate or defecate by herself, and there was something about Sadie that just called out to Joal. And Joal ended up bringing her home and figuring out if there was a way to help her. And she didn't really intend on keeping Sadie, she just wanted to see if she could help her, you know, kind of health-wise, and see, you know, and then eventually maybe find another home for her. But eventually Sadie ended up capturing Joal's heart and she ended up keeping her, and it's just her story about how Sadie's kind of ended up becoming like a little bit of a celebrity, and especially when it comes to kind of kindness and healing. So Sadie still is unable to walk, and Joal has to do so much to kind of help her be able to live a normal life. And my battery is about to die. This book is just a really heartwarming a book about a dog. I gave it like a 4 stars, but I think it might be more of like a 3.5/4 stars. I just think this, if you like dogs and you like stories about dog rescues, you will like this book. And there was one thing about this book, which is that Joal's family were never really happy about her taking on Sadie, because Sadie was so much work, because she did have to work really hard in terms of her health to try and get Sadie better. And one of her daughters is actually a vet, and I just thought that was really strange, that as a vet she wouldn't be happy about her mom doing everything she could to help this dog. And it just made a little bit of this kind of sad note for the story, I think, that they still weren't very acceptive of it, and I just did feel a lot for Joal because of that. So yeah, but I gave this like a 3.5/4 stars. I did enjoy it, I do recommend it. The next book I read, which for some reason took me a really long time to read, was The Floating Theatre by Martha Conway. This is a book set in 1838, I believe. Yes, 1838. And it is about a young girl called May, and she ends up finding herself alone. She normally travels with her cousin, but suddenly her cousin kind of abandons her, and she ends up finding herself alone, and she ends up getting a job in this kind of special kind of boat called the Floating Theatre. And this is a boat where they travel to different sides of, I think it's the Ohio River or some kind of river, flowing through the north and south of America. They go to all these towns, and there's like a little stage in the boat, and it's kind of a performing kind of troupe of actors and singers and stuff like that, and they put on plays, and May ends up going on board as kind of a seamstress, and kind of, you know, she does loads of other little jobs, and she ends up getting roped into helping slaves escape from the north slaves escape from the south into the north, so black slaves, and she kind of ends up in this fight for the abolition of slavery. And I really enjoyed this. It did take a while for the whole like slavery thing to come in, like it was like a good like halfway through before that came in, but I did actually enjoy the story just for, you know, the boat and the people, all the other characters. There was a little bit of a romance going on, which was really enjoyable, really cute. And May herself is a really interesting character, because personally I think she may have been on the autism spectrum, like really slightly, because she is a very like a straight talker. She will like say uncomfortable things to people to their face because she doesn't understand that it's not something that someone should say out loud, if you know what I mean. And she also has a really hard time saying lies, and she doesn't really like people touching her, she doesn't really like human contact and stuff like that. And yeah, there's just bits of her that I think she may have been a little bit on the autism spectrum, though I don't know, that I haven't seen if the author has said that anywhere, so I don't want to confirm that, because Obviously it's up to the author to say whether she is or not, or if she just wrote her in that particular way. But I really enjoyed just her character and her character development, and I just really like May as a character. And this was just a really, really beautiful story. The writing in it was gorgeous. This does have a different name in the US. I think it's called The Underground River in the US, and it's the Floating Theatre in the UK for some reason. I don't know why, but I do love this cover, which I've shown off on my channel before. And yeah, I just absolutely adore this book. It's absolutely lovely. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is a favourite on BookTube at the moment, and it's When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. And this is a really cute YA contemporary about this Indian American girl called Dimple, who wants to go to this kind of coding camp during the summer, and she ends up going, but she finds out that her parents have made arrangements with this other family who have a son the same age, and they're kind of trying to matchmake Dimple with their son Rishi, and he kind of approaches her when they're at the summer camp, and she has no idea who he is, and it kind of gets things off to an awkward start, but it immediately kind of turns out that they are actually a really, really good match. It's just this really, really cute little like summer romance kind of story, but it's also kind of shows some of the different kind of like just some of the pressures, the cultural pressures, particularly on Dimple as a young woman, and just the different things that she's expected to do because she is Indian American. Like she's supposed to, you know, her parents kind of expect her to find a boyfriend quite young and maybe settle down, possibly have children. There is quite a lot of pressure on her, more so than she feels on other girls her age. But then you also see Rishi's side of things, and Rishi also feels the same kind of pressure even though he is a man, and I just really enjoyed both their voices. I thought they were adorable. I've heard like a lot of criticism in this, how there wasn't enough coding, and I do definitely agree with that. I would definitely like to have seen a lot more of the classes. Like we got like no information about the classes or what she was doing, and maybe that was because maybe Sandhya Menon doesn't know anything about coding, or like, you know, wasn't comfortable writing about it. I don't know. But I would definitely like to have seen just the different things maybe she did in class. And some people were saying that there's way too much emphasis on the talent show at the end, and people, you know, that the book kind of becomes about the talent show. And I don't really agree with that, because I feel like the talent show is only a little bit of it. And I did actually really enjoy the talent show, because I just thought it kind of gave this movie magic feel to it in a way. I don't know, like I do kind of feel like, why would they have a talent show at a camp that's about coding? Like, why would there be this random talent show in the middle of this? So there was that. I did really enjoy this. I really liked their character like development. I really liked the things they had to go through. I also really liked that there was at one point a really open, honest there was an open, honest conversation about sex and having sex and being comfortable about having sex, and I just really love that, because I feel like that needs to happen more in YA, and I just, yeah, it was just really, really cute, and definitely recommend people, because I didn't really know what to go into it. It wasn't this book that like I was really hyped for, that I really, really, really wanted to read the way a lot of people are, but yeah, I really enjoyed it and I do recommend it, so I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book I want to read is one I actually finished last week because it was an audiobook, and it's Fitness Junkie by Lucy Sykes and Joal Piazza, and this is this kind of adult contemporary slash almost satire in a way, and it's about this woman who is, I think she's close to 40 in it, and she is a CEO of this really, really successful wedding business with her best friend Beau, and Beau turns around to her and tells her she is going to lose her job if she doesn't lose like £30 or something in the space of, I think, 6 months, or could it be 3 months, actually can't remember. But yeah, so he basically gives her this ultimatum saying that she doesn't look good anymore, she's not good like for the face of the business, and he wants her to lose weight, he wants her to look healthy, and for some reason she believes him, and she goes off on this fitness journey, and it's kind of this look into how crazy some fitness things are and all these health buzzes like that are around, and how people kind of always want to try the big new thing and all these like crazy like shakes and soups and no calorie stuff, and it's just insane, all these different type of workouts instead of just maybe just eating healthy and doing a little bit of exercise. Always has to be over the top and better and newer and everything like that, and I really enjoyed the exploration to it. I thought it was really, really funny, I thought it was quite clever at times, just thought it was really done very well. This book did make me like start off making me really, really angry, because you start off with this conversation between Janie and Beau, and Beau's basically telling her that she's too fat and she needs to lose weight, and you find out that Janie is like going through a divorce, and she's lost both of her parents within a year of each other. So she's going through so much. No wonder like she may have put on a little bit of weight from comfort eating, because she's gone through something really, really tough. And this guy is supposed to be her best friend, and he's telling her this, and I was like, Janie, honey, he is not your friend. And it takes her so long to kind of really come to the realisation that this guy is a really poisonous person in her life. And that did kind of annoy me. I kind of kept waiting for her just to stuff it to him, and you really have to wait till the end for that. And that was just one of those build-up things. But I did really enjoy this. I did think it was really, really funny, really clever, as I said. And I do definitely recommend it for people to read, because it was just really, really entertaining. And yeah, it's definitely not one that would like make you want to go to the gym or make you want to be healthy, because it's really just, I think, a bit of a piss take for all the extremes versions of those things. But I did enjoy it. I would recommend it for people to read. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So that is everything I read this week. Please let me know what you guys think, if you've read anything good. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.